Tell me about what the experience has been like doing the podcast, because I see so many versions of Sammy. There's Sammy that can joke. There's Sammy that sometimes it feels like it's a cathartic experience for you. Sometimes it's maybe therapy. I know it's been for me, this show, for me personally, so I could express things and try to hash things out. And sometimes I can tell that it's very hard for you to tell some of these painful stories again and again. And I've heard you say that kind of when you were at the time, where you commit some of these crimes, you didn't think about it. It was like an automatic machine. But now later, sometimes when you tell these stories, it sometimes feels like you're cutting an open wound or opening a wound again. Maybe you could just talk about the range of emotions you feel when you're talking about your past.
Well, I've always felt the pain of some of those decisions. Of course, I was a hit guy. I was very loyal to Cosa Nostra, and I followed orders. A lot of those cases, I fought to make that guy live, even though he broke certain rules. Our rules are, you break these rules, you die. And they know that. And I tried to save some of them. Some of them I did, some of them I couldn't. And when I couldn't, I'm a hit guy. I will come looking for you and I will kill you. That's my job in Cosa Nostra. Like a soldier in a war. He's not happy about killing the other side, but he lives and fights for his country and he does what he's told, whether he likes it or not. But they were painful for me, a lot of these things, especially people who died who were good friends of mine. And in a way, it's a therapy to me to talk about it, but it's still extremely painful. It's just as painful as it was back then, it is now. And maybe because I got a little older, I get choked up a little easier. I never choked up and cried as a kid, but didn't mean that I didn't care. I did. And on occasion, I did shed a tear or two. But opening up and talking about some of them now, I don't want to hide them. I want to talk about them. But they're painful when I do. And sometimes I really can't even get the words out. I choke up because I could see the person again. I could see the crime again clearly. For some reason, those things I've never forgotten anything. It could have been the weather was cold. It could have he wore a blue shirt and a green tie or whatever it may be. Those things don't escape me. When I talk, those details come back because I see it again. I'm reliving it again, as strange as this may sound to people. And it's painful for me. A lot of them, I open up these stories and I want them to know their loved one who passed in these situations or was killed or whatever word you want to use, why, and how they should feel about their father or their grandfather, whoever they're looking at or listening to, and understand what happened. I tell my children, I broke a golden rule in Cosa Nostra. Cooperating is a golden rule you don't break. You break that rule, you die. I broke that rule. I tell my children, friends, and family around me, if I'm ever killed, don't get mad at the guy who came down. He's following orders, doing what he's supposed to do. And I live by the gun, and if I die by the gun, that was my choice. Accept it. And don't be mad at the person who came down. He's under orders to do what he had to do. It's part of the life. Understand it. It was a punishment that I maybe should get or should have gotten, but I didn't. A lot of people understand when I cooperated. That's a whole story in itself with John Gotti. And a lot of people know the story now. There has been state police or FBI and guys who flipped, cooperated after me. And all of those secrets came out, what he did to cause me to flip. All my life I've been in trouble and never flipped. And they understood it. So I don't have that hatred anymore. When you first cooperated, everybody probably hated me. But they don't have that no more. That seemed to go away, not just because of time, but they understood. The real tough guys understand exactly what it was. Now, I'll give you a little example to that. When I was on top in a high position, I was the underboss, and somebody would flip that you would never expect. Real tough guy. I never just said, he's a rat. No, the first thing out of my mouth was, what made a guy like him cooperate? He's not a rat, never was, never will be. What happened? So I want to hear their story. I want to hear exactly why. This is another reason I think my podcast blew up. But telling the truth on what happened and then being verified by so many different people is an important thing to understand. Now, there are guys who cooperate for almost literally no reason, for some sort of gain or something. I don't accept that. You know, we're brothers, we're on the same side. They're the enemy. We fight our case. But if I betray you and I'm helping them put you away, and you say, no, I'm not, that's crazy, I'm not doing that, and you flip, you walk the other way, you're not a rat. You're in the situation that, why should I go to prison for the rest of my life? I can understand the cops, that's their job. But now Sammy's putting me away. He's backing it. He's making it 10 times worse because he wants to go free. So when people understand those stories, and that's what I went through.
That's what happened with John Gotti, right? That's exactly what happened. Right.
It's exactly what happened. So when I got to that point, and he had told me right to my face, I was with him 11 months in prison before I flipped, and he said, Sammy, I'm going to make the lawyers make you look like a monster. My tapes where I'm talking behind your back, you're going to hear I'm talking negative. So they're going to tell the jurors, you hear John Gotti complaining about Sammy. He's killing union guys. He's killing partners in business. He's doing all that. It's not poor John Gotti lost control of this fucking animal. So I said, John, is that what you really want to do? He said, that's what I have to do. The boss has to be free and you got to do the time. Even though those lies about I'm killing union people and my partners, I never did that.
Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.